Hello and welcome to the orientation class of the Resident English Sessions. My name is Peter Mandaracina and I am a psychologist from New York City. I have been teaching English for 25 years. More importantly, I have been teaching doctors in the Canary Islands to communicate in English for 14 years. In September, I began this same program in the Negreen Hospital, and now I am also very happy to offer it to the wonderful residents of the Insular Hospital. I will try not to take up too much of your time today. I would only like to introduce myself and the design of this English project we'll be doing over the next year, starting in December. But I'd like to remind you that this course can only be successful if you participate. This presentation was designed so you can stop me at any time and ask questions, so ask and don't be shy. However, you must only speak English here. Please do not address the class or me in Spanish. You are here to practice, and your mistakes in English are just as important as when you speak well. Ergo, in order to participate in this class, you must have at least an intermediate level of English speaking and comprehension. I will try to provide as many written materials as possible, but you should have at least intermediate level communication skills. As far as the organization of the classes are concerned, the residents, everyone who has signed up for the group, will be divided into 7 groups. All of those 7 groups will meet once a month. Now, each group will prepare a presentation and 1 patient care dialogue. Now, on the first day, Group A will present and Group B will perform a patient dialogue. I've provided a chart with the group assignments and when you will do your presentation or dialogue. As I said, on the first day of the sessions in December, the group known as Group A will do their presentation, and then the group known as Group B will do their patient care dialogue. And that will continue the next month with Group C doing a presentation, Group D doing a dialogue. Now in March, when Group G presents, the final group to do presentation, Group A will then return with their patient care dialogue, and it'll continue along like that. Now, as far as the presentation is concerned, we will do at least 1 in each class. We will only have an hour, and we will only meet once a month, so 7 groups, 7 sessions, 7 presentations. The first group will be already prepared when the session starts in December. The presentations will be short, about 5 minutes. It doesn't really matter how many slides you have as long as you're done in 5 minutes. The rest of the students who are not in the groups who are presenting or performing will be part of the audience. And the audience is also a very important part because after the presentation, the designated presenter in the group, as well as other group members of his group, will have to answer questions from the audience. Every resident who attends the session should prepare at least 1 question as he listens to the presentation. Now, I won't call on everyone, but I will do it at random, so be prepared. I will also ask different presentation group members to respond to the questions, so they need to be prepared to do that too. More on this later. The presentation and the Q&A period will be recorded on video and may be played back for comments and questions after the final question has been answered. This provides an important part of the feedback system, holding a mirror up to the presenter and allowing the audience another chance to work on their comprehension. The video will also be posted on the resident site, which links to YouTube, where the video will be uploaded. So while 1 group in the class does a presentation, another group will do a patient care dialogue. Each project group must write, direct, and perform in a bit of theater about a doctor and his or her dealings with an English-speaking patient. This can be about an initial meeting between the two where the doctor takes a clinical history, or it can be further down the clinical care trail, set at a later meeting or follow-up with a patient. This dialogue is written outside of class and performed here in front of the audience for video filming and comment. I suggest that you do the patient dialogue in class and have the written dialogue prepared on slides to project in PowerPoint while you perform so everyone can follow along. Because of the size of the class and the variety of specializations, the topic of the presentation should be of interest to all doctors. Your audience should find the information useful no matter what their specialization is. Some suggestions for topics would be those focused on the process and life of residents. Though I would like also to see medical presentations with graphs and charts as long as they're not too specialized. Now in your group, it will probably be important to divide responsibilities. For example, you can have everyone compile data, one person to write the presentation or group dialogue, one person to compile material for slides, for example, one person to organize everything in PowerPoint, one to give the presentation, and of course everyone to do the question and answers. Now you'll need to meet several times during the month as a group. This is not going to work by instant message or email. Each person will have responsibilities, and you'll need to know where you are. Also, it will be important for you to practice the presentation and to think of possible questions that may be asked during the Q&A period. The Q&A period is vital because it is the moment when you have to interact with other people in English. Use the time when you meet outside the class to drill each other with questions. Think of everything possible that may be asked. All materials should be written and memorized. You should not read directly from a prepared text, but you may refer to notes during the presentation. Generally speaking, practice recording yourself giving the presentation outside of class. Use feedback. An audio recorder or a video recorder would do a great job in giving you an idea of how you're speaking and presenting yourself. You can also do the presentation in front of other residents or friends to get their feedback. Now, everyone should be prepared. If the person designated to do the presentation is sick or handling an emergency that day, someone else in the group is going to have to give that presentation. One thing about PowerPoint which is very interesting, if there are more than 3 or 4 points on a slide, it tends to get a little cluttered. So try to keep your points down. Use another slide if you need to. And finally, try to memorize everything. You don't want to be looking down at your page, and you don't want them to be looking at the top of your head. Try to memorize as much as possible so you can make frequent eye contact with the audience. Okay, so I have given you the particulars on how to go about doing your work, and I've thrown in some advice on how to do it. You'll probably have a lot of questions to ask over the course of the month to follow, and I want to make myself as accessible to you as I can. So I have created a small website which will provide links to documents and other websites that will help you. The address is up there on the slide. The website also has a forum so you can post your ideas and progress. Use the forum so I can see what's going on. Try posting your group's progress up there. I'll always be around to respond. Use the forum for any discussion you like, but remember to always post in English. I've also put my email up there. Claudius is one of my pen names on the internet, so if you see that name in the forum, you'll know it's me. Thank you for listening, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in December.